How important could that be? Let's find out. Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Follygon here with another cool 3D character process video. In this one, I am working off of a 2D artwork by @CrystalBeastie. As I often do, I'll be taking this 2D artwork and I'll be transforming it into a 3D character. But before I do that, click that subscribe button if you are new around here and check out the links in the description for my courses, tutorials, custom brushes, and more. Well hey, in this video, I would like to focus in on this character's face. Now I do sculpt the entire character, so I have footage of that entire process, and if you would like to check out that footage, it is available over on my Patreon. You can find the link down below. So in this video, we're going to be hyper-focusing in on the face, and specifically, I want to talk about how what many of us consider little things are actually in fact a much bigger deal than they might initially seem. Let's start by talking about why faces are so difficult to create. Like honestly, it hurts me physically when I see someone on their first day of sculpting and they inevitably say, I want to make a face. And then they try, they fail, because that's what you're supposed to do on your first try, and then they get incredibly discouraged, and I hate to see that so much. That's why I've dedicated a lot of my time to create content and tutorials on specifically that topic. And it's why I'm making this video that you're watching right now. Faces are really hard, and for a number of reasons, but the one I want to focus on in this video is facial recognition. And that might sound like a strange thing, right? Isn't that what we're trying to make here? A face? Maybe one with a smile or a grimace? Well, yes, or at least it is supposed to be eventually. However, it is inevitable that while you are creating your face in the early stages, whether you are drawing, painting, sculpting, whatever, you will have some unintentional facial patterns start to show through on your character as you go along. I mean, it's happening right now. Look at the screen. As I create some of these simple landmarks for my character that will later be refined into facial features, at this point, as I'm really only focusing on my foundational landmarks, you will most likely start to see some kind of face starting to take shape. And herein lies our problem. Our brains are trained to see faces. We quite literally have a part of our brain dedicated to recognizing them. A small section from a video on SciShow Psych's channel states, we are constantly recognizing faces countless times a day, and most of us take it for granted. Of course your best friend looks different from your mom, who looks different from Beyonce. But if you think about it, every face is pretty similar. Most of them have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth, and only vary just a little bit in shape and color. So really, distinguishing faces in a crowd should be as difficult as distinguishing birds in a flock, or bricks in a wall. Luckily, humans are exceptional at perceiving faces. Part of the reason for this is a specialized brain region called the fusiform face area, or FFA for short. The FFA is tiny and located in the brain's temporal cortex, which is generally responsible for object recognition. Since faces are special, they get their own private real estate there. And we think that the FFA is face-specific because we can observe how the brain responds to faces compared to other objects. In fMRI experiments, which measure brain activity during specific tasks, the FFA is active when looking at faces, whether they are real people, photographs, or even drawings, which is the real kicker there. I'll put a link to the whole video below if you want to check it out. So this area of the brain is responsible for recognizing objects and faces, and it's responsible for why when you see this, or this, or this, or any number of these things, you see a face. And I believe this part of our brain is one of the major reasons why creating faces is so difficult. The smallest little tweak here, the tiniest smidge of a brushstroke there, all of it can completely change the overall feel of a face. Our brains are so sensitive to the tiniest little difference. And that poses a huge problem for artists that are trying to maybe, I don't know, make a character? Maybe it seems like a popular thing that a lot of artists enjoy doing. I personally know from years of experience myself how hard it can be to get past this phenomenon. You're sitting there in the very early stages of working on your face, and your brain is starting to see elements of that face come together. And it looks very wrong, and it's incredibly distracting to what you are trying to accomplish. Laying down a strong foundation. Oh, were you trying to make a nice looking face? No, not today, says our brain. So, what are we supposed to do about it? Well, like anything, I think it takes practice, of course. It's going to take time, and it's going to take you going through the entire process and ending on something successful to see that you can trust the process. We've all heard it before, right? Trust the process. But how can you do that when you have a monster of a face staring back at you? And when I say trust the process, I'm really saying trust yourself. Be confident in yourself that yes, it does look bad now, but it's going somewhere better. And that, my friends, does take time. But I want to give you an actionable thing that you can do right now that will help you push past this roadblock. A little bit of a art hack, you might call it.
Art hacks with Follygon.
Whoa, that was kind of weird. So anyway, what I'm about to show you is incredibly simple, but it's going to save you a ton of time on future projects. So often do I see people working on a face and struggling to make things align, or even look close to their reference. And they're missing a major part of their character in those early stages. And that is, drumroll please, facial hair. Hold on, let me try that one more time. No, not that kind of facial hair. Well, sometimes, yeah, but I'm talking about eyebrows, eyelashes, or even the hair on your head a lot of the time as well. These things make up so much of your character and expression, and they are very often left out until much later in the process. However, by simply adding in what you could even call a placeholder, it can make a world of difference. Here are some examples of this character at different stages of development with and without these features. They completely change the feeling of the face. The finished face without these features just looks completely silly, and also is a great illustration of how important these features are. This also goes for color. Adding even temporary color or value can make a world of difference in making your face feel more finished in the early stages. Adding these things can also help you recognize where you need to make changes. A forehead may look the correct size without eyebrows, but once added, make your forehead look much smaller than you originally thought. Your eyes look like something out of a horror film, but once you put those big beautiful lashes on there, things really start coming together. The same thing is true for hair. Different hairstyles can completely change the look and feel of a character. You can check out my last video if you want to hear more about that idea. All of these smaller elements that seem unimportant at first make a massive difference in the overall proportion and expression of your character's face. And getting them in early can save you many headaches down the road. So hey, let's try it one more time. Facial hair. Yeah, now you got it. Well, sort of, right? There's a lot more that goes into faces than just this idea alone. But it's what I wanted to focus specifically on for this video. If you are interested in learning more about faces, say maybe their basic structure, what is often referred to as the planes of the head, you should check out my tutorial on that exact topic. If you sign up for my Patreon, it comes with a 25% off discount code for that tutorial specifically, plus a ton of other free tutorials on topics like exercises to improve your sculpting, what to do after a blockout, and I create a new tutorial there every single month. So the list of content that you get for signing up is only growing larger. Now I had my work cut out for me with this character. I was thinking at first I was only going to do the head, or maybe bust. However, I then, in my hubris, said, screw it, I'll do the whole thing. And it took a little longer than I was originally thinking it would, but for the amount of time I spent here, just under 9 hours, I am happy with the way it turned out. And I hope you enjoyed watching the process unfold. If you did, click that like button, and if you are new around here, click subscribe. If you want to learn more about digital sculpting, maybe download my custom brushes or check out the full process of this character on my Patreon, you can find all of those helpful links down in the description. Again, a huge shout out to @CrystalBeastie for creating such a beautiful artwork for me to translate to 3D. And thank you, yeah, you. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the vid, maybe learned something new along the way, and I will see you all again in my next video.